Okay, so today I was drinking out of my Harvard Law School mug, and I thought about how I came to acquire this mug. And it's because Harvard Law School invited me to come speak at a symposium they had. I think it was January or February of 2011. Now, I had graduated law school from the University of Florida in 2007, and University of Florida, great law school, okay? Top tier, first tier law school, somewhere usually like number 49. Harvard Law School is generally number 1 or number 2. Had I applied to Harvard Law School, they would have laughed at me because, in fact, I started my law school career at a 4th tier law school, which is the bottom tier. As a matter of fact, the law school I started at has gone out of business. Okay. So how did I, someone who started at a 4th tier law school, end up speaking as an expert at Harvard Law School just a few years after I graduated? It is the power of guest blogging. I talk to you all the time about the things that guest blogging on major sites can do for you. For me, it was guest blogging on Forbes, and it was becoming a contributor for Forbes. So I became a contributor for Forbes in 2009. In 2011, well, really late 2010, I got the email asking me if I wanted to come speak at Harvard Law School. I've gotten to speak in some pretty cool places since then. I've spoken to the Miami Dolphins, the NFL football team. I've spoken at the AAU, the American Association of Universities, which accredits some of the best universities in the country. I've had some amazing speaking gigs, but I don't know that any speaking gig made me feel the way that the Harvard Law School one did, because I knew that Harvard Law School wasn't somewhere I could have gone as a student. I know that they wouldn't have let me in, but then they let me come in and speak to and teach their students just a few years after they would have laughed at my application. So how do you go from not getting into Harvard Law School to being asked to speak and to teach students at Harvard Law School? And it's by positioning yourself as an expert. And guest blogging is such a fabulous way to do that. And maybe you don't start at Forbes. I didn't. I started on my own free little WordPress blog and worked my way up over the course of several years. But being able to guest blog for these huge outlets and doing it on a regular basis, okay? It's not doing it once and getting the Forbes logo and putting it on your website. That's not how I got asked to speak at Harvard Law School, okay? It was contributing at Forbes for 2 years. Now, I know we're a society of instant gratification and you want what you want right now, okay? But so much of it is being consistent, okay? You don't position yourself as an expert in one day. One guest blog doesn't make you an expert, okay? It's awesome, okay? We all start somewhere. I started with one blog on Forbes, and then I wrote another one, and then I wrote another one, and then I wrote another one, okay? Most of these publications, Inc., Entrepreneur, Success, Forbes, Fast Company, they would love for you to write for them more than once, okay? They let you in the door and you write for them once. Most people, virtually everyone I work with, never goes back and writes for them again, okay? They get the logo and they move on. That's not where the amazing opportunities come from. They come from consistently putting yourself out there as an expert, consistently doing podcast interviews, consistently writing guest blogs, consistently doing online summits, consistently being on TV. You know, there are a lot of different ways to position yourself as an expert, but it's going out there and positioning yourself as that expert every single day. Shauna hears me every day, okay? It's about consistency. And when you have that portfolio of publicity opportunities, guest blogs and podcast interviews and speaking engagements, amazing things start to come your way, okay? These people that you follow that are experts, the Tim Ferrisses and the Russell Brunsons and the Amy Porterfields and the Grant Cardones and all those people you follow who are experts, who you say, I want to be the next whoever it is. They didn't get there by writing one guest blog, people, okay? This isn't instant gratification. They got there over years of putting out content and putting it out in bigger and better places. But you got to start somewhere. And I want to see you start today so that you can have your own Harvard Law School moment. Okay, maybe it's not at Harvard, but for me, Harvard Law School, even though that's been so many years ago and I've done so many speaking engagements since then, speaking at Harvard Law School is something I will always remember, always treasure. I mean, I remember the minute I got the email. I was dating my now husband. We'd only been dating a few months, and I remember sitting in a restaurant and I checked my email while he ran to the bathroom, and the invitation was there to speak at Harvard Law School. You can ask him. I flipped out. And 6 years later, actually 7 years later it is now, I still feel the same way about it. I still think it was one of the most amazing, most special things I've ever done, okay? So I wanna see you all get out there and start positioning yourself as an expert. You tell me when and where and how you're gonna do it, and I'm gonna hold you accountable, okay? See you guys later.